Thanks for coming on. Good to see you, sir.
Take care.
My next guest, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, has been under sustained attack from the Cruz campaign in recent days. In fact, take a look at this ad they put out on Rubio's immigration stance.
I am not, and I will never support, never have and never will support any effort to grant blanket legalization amnesty.
Marco Rubio was part of a gang of 8 trying to secure amnesty.
One of the architects of the plan, Senator Marco Rubio, you are giving legal status to people who have broken the law.
It was Marco Rubio that was a member of the gang of 8 and Ted Cruz that wasn't.
And Senator Marco Rubio joins me now. Senator, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
You just had a nice friendly hug with Senator Cruz there. That's not such a friendly ad here, and it goes at the issue of the gang of 8. So,
well, actually,
can you just
but let me
can you
correct
explain the issue of amnesty? Define amnesty for us.
The ad is first deceitful. Actually talks about cap and trade, and it literally clips my statement. Like it stops my statement right when I start explaining that I'm against cap and trade and big government mandates. The Gang of 8 was a bill that was, that's not even, that was dealt with 3 years ago. It was an effort to fix our immigration laws. It was the best that could be done in a Senate that was controlled by Harry Reid at the time. And the hope was that the House would take it up and make it better. But it was a way to start that. And in the absence of progress, that's how Barack Obama has now forced on America not 1 but 2 unconstitutional executive orders that seek to actually legalize people here with no enforcement. Now, that's not the way we're going to do it when I'm president. When I'm president, when I'm the nominee, we're going to keep our majority in the House and Senate, and we are going to pass, first and foremost, immigration laws that secure our border. And until that is in place, we're not going to be able to do anything else. That's the lesson of the last 10 years. The American people, we do not have the political support to do it all at once. They do not trust the federal government to enforce immigration laws. And as a result, the key that unlocks the door to be able to make progress on immigration is to bring illegal immigration under control first. And we will do that when I'm president.
I've had a lot of Republicans in Iowa that I've talked to who really like you, and then they say, why won't he repudiate the Gang of 8?
And that's not how we're going to do it when I'm president. I mean, that's not going to be the law that we're going to pass when I'm president.
Do you regret ever being involved?
Look, I tried to fix a problem. This is a real problem. And where are we today? We are worse off today than we were 5 years ago. We have more illegal immigrants here. We have 2 unconstitutional executive orders on amnesty. I went to Washington to fix a problem. Immigration is a serious problem. It impacts my state. In the state that I live in, we are impacted by illegal immigration in a dramatic way. This issue has to be dealt with. Each year it gets harder to solve, more difficult to solve, but it is now clear, more than ever before, that you are not going to be able to do anything on immigration until you first bring illegal immigration under control and prove it to people, not just pass a law that says it, and that's how we're going to do it when I'm president.
You have alluded to the fact that a majority is not yet sort of where you might be on what to do, for instance, with the undocumented. Do you think this is what's holding your campaign back, that the difference between third and second or third and first for you is your immigration position?
No, look, we have 11 people running for president that are running competitive campaigns. We have 11 people on the ground in Iowa spending money, campaigning, working hard themselves to gain voters. So a lot of this is segmented right now. Ted Cruz is clearly the front runner in Iowa. He has 10,000 volunteers. He spent millions of dollars here. He got every endorsement that he wanted. And so we always knew that going in, but we feel really good about the progress that we're making here. We have taken on more negative attacks than every other candidate combined. Jeb Bush's super PAC has basically spent $30 million, a third of its money, attacking me. And yet we keep growing, and we feel real positive about it. We feel positive about what it's going to mean on Monday night in Iowa and what it's going to mean a week later in New Hampshire.
You know, you brought up the cap and trade issue. I want to actually play the full quote of what you said. Here it is.
Florida should position itself for what I believe is inevitable, and that is a federal cap and trade program. Florida should do everything it can to be an early complier so that it can access early compliance funds and so that it can help influence what that cap and trade looks like at the federal level. And so I'm in favor of giving the Department of Environmental Protection a mandate that they go out and design a cap and trade or a carbon tax program and bring it back to the legislature for ratification sometime in the next 2 years.
All right, we gave you full context there.
No, you didn't. You cut it. There's more after that.
There's even. Well, explain. It does come across as you're saying it's inevitable, so Florida's got to prepare.
Yeah, but that's not the full clip. What you just played is not the full clip. Right after that, I said I'm not in favor of implementing it. I'm in favor of them bringing it back to the legislature. I do not support big government mandates. The context of that was in 2006 and 7 when the leading candidates for president were John McCain, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. All three supported cap and trade. Right. And I was the Speaker of the House, and I said there is a chance that the federal government will pass cap and trade. I'm not in favor of it, but if they do, we have to be prepared to comply with that requirement, even if we don't like it. And I don't want it to cost the state of Florida money to have to comply. Everyone knew it. The Democrats knew that position. When Charlie Crist proposed cap and trade, I was the first person to speak out against it in a full op-ed in the Miami Herald. But you didn't play the full clip. There's
even more.
Right after that, there's even more.
But you know, this gets at sort of what I think is the challenge for all of the candidates on both sides. Is you're basically saying, look, you got to sometimes govern with what you have, not with what you want. Right. But the voters, they want more than that. The voters seem angry. They see it. They're not satisfied with this idea that, you know, you got to work with what you have in Washington, not with what you want.
You know, I don't think that's true. I think voters understand that to solve problems is going to take the ability to work with people that you don't agree with on a bunch of other issues. We're not going to compromise on principles.
They're not rewarding those candidates.
Look, I think people understand my higher education ideas. I think student loan debt in America is a huge problem. We're not going to have free college, but I do think there's a bipartisan way to work on helping with student loan debt. That's why I work with Mark Warner on it, and I've worked with other people on this sort of issue. There are issues that we're not going to agree on. Repealing Obamacare. That's why we have elections. So I think if there's a chance to work together, and you don't have to betray your principles, you work together. But there are issues where you can't do that, and that's why we have elections and debate and all those sorts of things in America.
Why are you personally the most popular Republican candidate? Pretty much here, and you and Ben Carson neck and neck here, but overall, nationally, you have the highest favorable rating. Why aren't you ahead?
Again, I think it goes back to the fact that there are now 11 people running for president of the United States, running competitive campaigns. I mean, these are not third-rate candidates. These are former governors, CEOs of major companies, serious people, and former Senator Rick Santorum. And they're campaigning hard. And so you've got the voters have a lot of choices. I think once the race narrows, I feel very good about our prospects.
That's the question. A lot of your donors.
I know. You'll need to ask the political strategist. I'm running for president of the United States.
But you need to win eventually.
And we will. And here's how we win. We win by having more delegates than anyone else and more than half the delegates. And I'm very comfortable and confident that we're going to achieve that. But I don't think you're going to really get clarity on this race until the race narrows a little bit.
What's a good night for you tomorrow?
We just want to get as many votes as we can. We feel real positive about what it's going to lead to. Again, that whole expectation game for us, we always knew we were an underdog in Iowa. Other people have a lot more people on the ground here. They spend a lot more money. But we're going to have a good night. We're going to have a lot of support, and I'm very excited about it.
Senator Rubio.
Thank you.
Have a good, be safe on the trail.
Yes, sir.
And I think we'll see you in New Hampshire as well. When we come back, are Iowa Democrats ready to vote for a 74